The Alliance for Equality of Blind Canadians is pleased to bring you training on a variety of assistive technologies. Please like and subscribe.
Welcome to Tech Training Tuesdays. Today we are going to talk about attachments in mail, both iOS and on the Windows side. And I'm Marcia Yale, and Diana Brent is going to do the Windows side, and we're going to do a tag team and probably help each other along the way. But the first thing that I can say about attachments in mail is that at the moment, in iOS 26, as of today, the attach button, if you wanted to do it from a mail message, is hiding. I tried today to compose a new message and try and attach something, and I couldn't. So this is really the good reason to tell you that the best way to attach something to an email message on the iOS side is to start with the something. So find the photo or the file or whatever it is, the video, the photo, the file, the audio file, whatever it is, document, whatever. Find it first. And from there, share it. Because that is, in the end, a heck of a lot faster, and it is also a lot more consistent in how it works. And I'm going to try and demonstrate that. And hopefully I left my iPhone where it needed to be.
Do not disturb button. Decision letter, Word document uploaded.
Okay, so I am in my Files app, and I am going to pick a file that I actually found that's been there since 2012, and I'd really like to read it again, so I am going to send it to myself so that I can read it and not have to read it on my iPhone necessarily.
Discussion paper.
So
Family
where
unders-
did it
discussion.
go?
Family
There it
underscore
is.
Nottingham. Image upload. Decision letter. Word document. Dear Family Letter 1.
There
Word
we
document.
go.
2012 05 13 28 kilobytes.
Okay,
Actions
so
available.
I am sitting in Files. It said the name of the file and how big it was and when it was saved, and it said Actions available, and I am going to flick down to Share.
Copy. Move. Share.
And I'm going to double tap.
Dear Family Letter 1. Image.
Okay.
Copy. Button. Save to Dropbox. Button. Voice stream. Button. Speech to text. Button. M365 Copilot. Dropbox. Button. Word. Button. WebSmeet. Button. Mail. Button.
Okay,
Actions
so
available.
just so you know, when I stuck my finger on the screen, it just landed on copy, and so I knew that I had to go left. And that's what I was doing. I was flicking left because the first share item that I don't think I've ever seen it any other way, but if you know you're on a share sheet, the first item is always AirDrop. So if you land on something and it's not AirDrop or messages or mail, you know you need to go left. So I'm going to double tap on Mail, and it's going to open an email message. Really simple.
Image. Cancel. Button. Send. Dimmed. Button.
Okay, and I'm flicking right. It landed on the cancel. The send is still dimmed because...
Message. Heading. To. Text field.
Because I need to pick a contact. So I'm going to double tap. I'm on the to text field. I'm going to double tap with one finger.
To. Text field is editing. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
And I'm going to start typing my name.
Mail. N. Period. B. N. M.
And whoever unmuted, could they
W.
mute, please?
Shift. S. A. R. C. C.
Okay, so I've put MARC,
Files.
and
Cancel.
then I'm going to
button,
go
send,
back up
dimmed,
to the
button, new
top.
message. 2. Add contact. Button. Results. Marcia Yale. President of blindcanadians.ca. Button.
Sure.
Actions available.
Why not?
DragonCatGetICloud.com.
And if you have never done this before, or if you don't realize what happens, but when you pick your contact for the to line, then it reads you the email address that it's going to send it from. So if you have multiple addresses, this is you get to check which email address is this actually sending from. So that's really helpful.
Subject. Text field.
All right, and I don't really care what the subject is right now, but it's an edit field, so you could double tap on it, and you can put whatever subject you want to put in your mail message.
Message body. Dear family, letter 1. Doc. 28 kilobytes. Attachment. Sent from my iPhone. Text field. Message body. Text field.
So it's got my silly sent from my iPhone signature on my iCloud account, which I've never fixed on my phone. It's got the name of the file, but it's also an edit box, so you can double tap and write whatever you want to talk about this attachment that you're sending to whoever you're sending it to. But I don't care. I'm not going to add anything because I don't really need to. It's got the attachment. I'm happy. So I'm going to go up
New
and
message. Heading. Send. Button.
hit send.
Send. Alert. Empty subject.
Yeah, of course it is.
This message has no subject. To cancel. Button. Send. Button. Message body. Text field. iCloud Drive. Back button.
So because I sent it from files, that's where it went back to. So I'm now back to the location iCloud Drive, which is where I found this file. And my mail is sent. No having to worry about where the heck the attachment button is. Is it going to work? Can I find it? As I said this afternoon, I tried to do it the other way and it wouldn't work. So that's honestly the best way to send an attachment in iOS. Like I said, it's consistent, it's simple, and usually what I find is that even if I can get the attachment button to work in Mail, if I can get it to VoiceOver to focus on it, it somehow takes longer to go from Mail to the actual attachment and find it than it does to start at the attachment itself. So to go through the Files app or wherever you're going to find this attachment, and to start there, it just seems to be a lot smoother process. So that's the best way to send an attachment. Now, what if you receive an attachment in a message, or more than one? What do you do? So let's just get to
Mail. Message content. Hello.
So now I'm in my Mail app. I just flicked. I flick three fingers left and right to go from app to app. The open apps, I find that really helpful. I can't remember what the original, what it's even called, that particular gesture, but I know I changed it, but I can't remember what it's called. But I am now in a mail message that I know has multiple attachments because I went looking for it. So if you get a mail message, first of all, the attachments are going to be at the bottom, right at the bottom. So the best way to find them is to get yourself onto the tab line, the tab bar at the bottom, where you have delete, move, more actions, and compose, and the search bar. So that's where you want to start, because then you're at the bottom of the message, or you should be. And then you flick left. So I'm on the delete button at the bottom, and I'm going to flick left.
Message content. ESDC reporting 24, the 26th of February 28th, 2026 finance.xlsx, 907 kilobytes. Button.
Okay, so there's
Actions available.
there's one attachment.
2026-02, 18 Finance Committee Minutes.docx, 16 kilobytes, button.
And there's another
Actions available.
attachment.
2026-03 Finance Meeting Draft Agenda.docx, 16 kilobytes, button. Actions available.
And there's another attachment. So there are 3, and I don't think there are any more. I'm just going to flick left.
Underscore.
Oh,
Underscore.
yeah, okay.
2026-03 Finance Meeting Draft Agenda.docx, 16 kilobytes, button.
Okay.
Actions available.
So, it says there are actions available, and you know what? I've never checked out what the actions for the attachment would be without going into it. So let me flick down and find out for all of us.
Trash.
Okay, I can delete it. That's nice.
Reply. Activate. Default.
So it's just giving me the actions that are in the mail message. And none of those are what we want except for activate. So
Reply,
I'm just going to
activate,
make sure
default.
I'm on activate. And I'm going to open this attachment by double tapping on it.
Inbox President.blind Canadian 2026-03 Finance Meeting Draft Agenda.docx, Actions Menu, button.
Okay, so I've got the attachment open. I can
Close,
read
button.
it.
Finance Meeting Draft March 16th. Join Zoom meeting. HTTPS.
So it opens it up in a preview window so you can read the whole attachment. But what I want to do is usually you might want to save it to your phone or save it to Dropbox, for future use. So what you want to do again is remember that good old share sheet. And we're going back there. So we're going to go find share, and it's usually at the bottom.
At 9 Pacific. At 9 Pacific. At 1 more. But Easy Reader. Share button.
Okay, so I could have opened it in Easy Reader. If I want, I can do that right from
Easy
here.
Reader button.
And
button.
there's a more
At
button.
9 Pacific. More button.
And I'm not sure what's in that more. Let's take a look
More.
for everybody's use.
Easy Reader. But share. But share. Easy Read More button.
Okay, so that more button did absolutely nothing. Interesting. Okay. So we're going to
1/2
go
with the number
and
in the mount at
see
9 Pacific.
what is in that share sheet. So what can we do with this file?
Easy Read Share button. 2026-03 Dismiss pop-up. Image Car Hero 2026-03 Word document middle dot 16 kilobytes. AirDrop button.
Okay, so remember we're on the share sheet, so the first thing you can do is airdrop it to someone.
Messages button.
You can send it via message to someone.
Mail button.
You could send it via mail to someone, so you could email it to another person right from here.
Websmeet button.
That's another app that's a visual meeting app.
Easy Reader button.
There's our Easy Reader.
Dropbox button.
There's Dropbox.
Books button.
Books.
M365 Copilot button. Speech to text button. Voice Dream button. PixieBot button. Word button.
Everything that I can do with this
More
attachment.
button.
But what I'm looking for is something that will tell me I can save it somewhere.
Copy button. Save to Dropbox button.
And there we go. We've got Save to Dropbox. So if I want to save this file that I've just opened to Dropbox, and if you've never done that,
Print
we'll
button.
do that.
Save to Dropbox button.
So you're going to
Save.
Save to Dropbox.
NSS Streaming Media Project.
And
Folder
then
error.
what it's going to do is it's going to open a Dropbox folder, or if you have 2 Dropbox folders, it might open the one that you were last in. And it will give you the option of figuring out where you want to put it. So let me just figure out where we are. I'm going to touch the top of the screen.
2026-03 Finance Meeting Draft Agenda.docx. Rename button. Recent folders heading.
Okay, so it's going to give me a list of recent folders, which might be where I want to save it.
Personal. Marcia Yale NSS Streaming Media Project. All folders heading. New folder button. Yep. Personal.
So I have access to 2 Dropbox accounts. They are both here. From here I can pick which one I want. So let's pick
Yep.
personal.
Personal. Selected. Expanded.
So now it's going to open up all my folders, But if I want to just, so I'm in my main Dropbox folder now. If I want to just save this document in my main Dropbox folder, I just want to go down to the bottom again.
Upload button. Zoom. Vertical scroll. Upload button.
And there's upload. And that's what you want to do. You hit double tap on
Upload.
upload.
Show in folder
And
button.
now I can go look at the file if I want to, because it's just said show in folder. I don't need to know it's there. I trust that it's there.
Copy link button.
And I can copy a link to
Upload it to
it.
personal.
And it's just told me, I'm flicking left and it's just told me that it's uploaded it. And that's how you save an attachment. Very simple. That share sheet becomes your friend. It is honestly the best way to deal with attachments going either way. And it gives you options. You can add things to the share sheet. You can add apps to the share sheet. If you have another app that you need to save attachments to, or that you want to send things from, or that you're sharing things, you can add apps to the share sheet. You can take apps away so that you don't have to look at them again. You can definitely clean up your share sheet and make it what you need it to be. Mine has a lot of AI apps, just in case I want to share a photo or open a photo in another app, like PickyBot, or I think Be My Eyes is on there somewhere too. But that's basically dealing with attachments the best way on iOS. It's yeah, that's. I think I've given. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to begin with. So if I think what we'll do, since they are, I think what we better do, is since they are so totally different, iOS and Windows, is let me take questions now, and then Diana we can get over to the other side, to the Windows. So I will take questions. If you want to raise your hand, I am now sitting in, yeah. So if you want to raise your hand or just shout out if you can't find the raised hand. Any questions?
I have a comment. The share isn't then just about sharing screen. It's about sharing whatever it is with other folders or other apps on your phone, right?
The share is for, well, share screen is in Zoom. That's the only, that's where you would share a screen.
Yeah, but if you find share in your email,
That's to share, that's to share slash save slash send. If you think
oh,
about it, is you're either going to share something with someone else, or you're going to save it, or you're going to send it somewhere.
yes, because I've seen it in all kinds of things, and I thought, I don't know what that means. So
Yeah,
thank you.
that's what it means. Anyone else? Okay, well then, we'll go to Diana and Outlook on the PC side.
Okay. I think I am unmuted, and I assume you stopped sharing your screen.
I wasn't
But
sharing.
oh, you didn't share your screen.
No,
Oh, that's
no.
just fine. I didn't notice. Bad joke. Okay. So, today I do have a handout for this with the keys that we're using, and it's all about managing email attachments using Microsoft Outlook Classic, and I'm using Windows 11. Um, so we're first of all, we're going to talk about how you would attach an email to a message, and there's a couple of ways you can do it. The first one is by picking files from File Explorer. The second one is using keyboard commands, which I just discovered because I had always used the first option. But this one is handy too. After we do the how we do that, we're going to do open and saving attachments and in a message. And there's two ways to do that. There's a fairly simple method, and then there's I wouldn't say it's any harder, but the next method includes more options for attaching a file. Or not only attaching, but you can copy, you can save, you can do all kinds of things. So I am using JAWS. Most of the commands I'm using are Windows commands. In theory, you should hear JAWS, but you won't hear JAWS because for whatever reason, I could not get my computer once I entered Zoom, and it worked yesterday, but this is the way of technology. I could not get my speaker to speak. So I am going to pretend when we're doing this that I am the JAWS speaker and I will speak. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to attach a file or a group of files to an email message using starting with File Explorer. So if I want to do that, the first thing I would do is go to File Explorer and choose the files I'm going to send in my attachment. So I have opened up File Explorer and I've navigated to the folder where my files are, and it's a folder of a whole bunch of manuals. And so we're going to grab several of these manuals and attach it to an email message, and then we will send them. And how you do that is you find the first one you want to add. So I have one here and it's highlighted. JAWS is telling me it's highlighted. It says list of accessibility features for the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. So I'm going to say, oh, yes, I want that one. So I'm going to leave that highlighted, and I'm going to hold my control key and go down with my down arrow to look at my next file. By holding my control key, it means the first message I have is highlighted and it is still selected. But the next one, which JAWS tells me says managing email attachments using Microsoft Outlook Classic, which is the handout for today. At the moment, it is not highlighted because I pressed Control down arrow to move through my list. If I knew I wanted to highlight it, instead of Control down arrow, I could have just held Shift down and pressed, and it would have highlighted all the messages that are in a row, consecutive messages. Now I think I want this managing files, so I press my space bar, and now I have the two highlighted. And I will get one more. And I will, in order to do this, I'm just going to hold my shift and do the down arrow. And the next one says Melee Computers. And that's my little baby computer that I'm using. And so now I have three messages highlighted. And now I'm going to copy them with Control C. And the JAWS said copy selection to clipboard. And whether you're using, I think NVDA would likely say the same thing. Now I've opened up my list of things that I have open, and I'm going to go to my secretary inbox because that's where I'm going to send it from. And just for ease of access, I'll send the message to myself. So I'm going to do Control N for new, and I'm going to put in secretary because that's what I am in this world. And it's put in my email address. And so I'm going to add it, and I'm going to tab to the subject field, and I'm going to call it adding attachments. So I type adding attachments in the subject field. And now I'm going to tab to the one more time to the main body of the message. And all I have to do is do Control V for Victor, which takes those files that I have copied from File Explorer and pastes them into the attachment section. Now, in order to see if those files are there, I can do Shift Tab once, and now I have all of my files listed. Now you never see that attachment field when you first type an email message, because when you start, you see the to field, you see the CC, you see the BCC and the subject, and then you see the main body of the message where you write. And that's in tab order if you tab through. However, once you've added attachments, it now will show you that field from the main body of the message if you Shift Tab once. And now I have all the files I have put in the attachment in my message. And what's really funny is I just looked at I have two displays, and I looked at the wrong one, and I thought, why isn't it changing? So I see the Melee computer one, manage, and I'm using right and left arrows to move from attachment to attachment. And then I see managing email attachments. That's the second one. And then the third one I see is the list of the access commands for Ray-Ban glasses. So suppose now that I think, oh, I only want to send, I want to send the Melee message, but I don't want to send managing attachments. If I decided I wanted to remove that attachment, I could just press, I'm focused. My focus, JAWS focus, because I used right arrow, is on managing email attachments. I could press delete, and it will remove it from that list. Well, it should. It's not doing it. There, it did. Now it's removed it, and I only have the one attachment. I can tab to the main body of my message, and I can send this message. I'm not going to bother to send it because I already have these and I don't need another email message. So I'm going to press escape, and it says, do I want to save this message? Which I do not. So I will down arrow to no, and I am back in my inbox. So that is the first way of when you want to add an attachment to an email message by finding the files in File Explorer and adding them. And I've listed all of these in step-by-step fashion, and I'll send it to Carol when we put up this video. The second way to add an attachment is to open a new message and use keyboard commands. So I'm going to do Control N, and I'm going to put in the to field secretary again. And I'm going to, there's my name, and I'm going to go to the main body. I'm going to type adding attachments using adding attachments with Keyboard commands. There. Now, that's what my subject says. Tab once more. I'm in the main body of the message. Now, I'm going to, from the main body of the message, I'm going to press Alt N for insert, A for attachment, F for file. And as soon as I do that, I am in the most recent files that I have used in the last little while. So this is a really handy way if you've written a bunch of documents and you want to send them to somebody, or you've written them in the last few days. I don't know how many it keeps. It keeps several. So because remember I told you the Access Windows and JAWS and managing email attachments were all things I'd looked at. So those show up. I also see things like week 1 and 3 chat spaces, which you guys all got. So whichever one of these email messages, and I'm using up and down arrows to pick them, I can just press enter on that email attachment, and it will put it into the attachment field of the message. So I pressed enter on week 1 and week 3, and it took me back to the main body of my email. Now I can shift tab like I did the last time, and I see in that attachment field, which shows up because now I've added an attachment, week 1 and 3 chat spaces, doc. So that has added that attachment. So there's 2 ways of adding an attachment to an email. Now, if you want to open or save email attachments, the simplest method is, first of all, and I'm going to close this message and not save it because I don't want to send this attachment really. No, I do not. Okay. Now I have a message that I sent myself with a bunch of attachments that says many, many attachments. And so I'm going to open that up. And there is many, many attachments in this message. I did, and so in order to get to the attachments in the message, it opens up automatically in the main body of the message. And so I shift tab once, just like I did in all the other ways, and I see the first attachment, and it says new Outlook shortcut keys. And that was written on 10/20/2024. The next one is Kelvin thermostat. So I have a talking thermostat. So it's the manual for that. And for some reason, I have that in there twice, which is odd. But I can at some point delete that. I have list of accessible features. All of these things, managing email attachments. I took about 6 of them, and I just put them all in an email. So if I want to open one of these attachments, I use left and right arrows to move through the list of attachments. And it doesn't matter how many you have, it's going to focus on your display. And so I'm going to managing email attachments using Microsoft Outlook, and I'm going to press enter on it. And it's going to ask me if I want to open or save this button. I'm landed on a save button. And if I up arrow, I will go to an open button. So those are the 2. And if I did a down arrow from save, I would hit a cancel button, which would take me out of the attachment dialog. So this method only acts on the one message in focus, which is the managing email message. So if I want to press and open it, I can press enter on open, and it will open it in Word. And it's done that. It opened up my Word program because it's a docx file, and it's opened up that attachment in Word. now I'm going to, and I could then just read it. I'm closing it. And now I'm back in my email again. And now this time I'm going to press enter on managing email attachments, and I'm going to save it. So because I've landed right on the save button, I press enter again on save. So I press enter on save, and it shows me the file name. Now, really what it's done is basically opened up File Explorer. So at this point, you have to navigate to where you want to save the file. And so I did Shift Tab to get to my list of files. I'm going to go right arrow, and depending on how your File Explorer is set up, it'll show in up and down or left and right arrows. I know that mine does right and left at this level. And so I've moved focus using my right arrow to documents, pressed enter on documents, and I want to save this in my file. I'll save it just for in my AEBC folder. So I do down arrow because that's the way my files are listed once my document folder is open. And I press enter on ABC. And the first thing that comes up in there is I'm going to go down to, I'll just go to board information. Why I want to save it there, I'm not sure, but I'll choose that. Press enter on that. And now I can tab to save, or I can do Alt S or whatever I want to do to save that message. There's my save button, and I press tab to get there. Press enter on save. I think I could also press spacebar. No, it wants me to press, oh, no, it did. It saved it. So now that message is saved. The other way that you can, the second option for doing this gives you more ways to, more options in the message. So I have the same message up. I'm going to press enter on the message to open it. I'm going to go Shift Tab to the list of attachments that we saw before. And now I have the whole list, but I can do one of two commands, which actually opens up the same menu. I can do Shift F10, or I can do Alt down arrow, which opens a combo box. And there's several options in this menu. The important ones I'm only going to talk about because it's already 1:45 or almost 10:02, and we want to have time for questions. But the important ones, and once you do Shift F10 or Alt down arrow, you do down arrow to move through your choices of what you can do with the attachment that's in focus. I can open the attachment. I can print it. It says quick print the selected attachment to your printer. So if whatever one I'm focused on, which is I think this one is New Outlook. It was just the first one there. I can save as. So once I do that, that would save the one attachment. Now I like the one below this, and it save all attachments. So if I wanted to save all of my attachments at once, I could press enter on this, and it will open up basically my File Explorer box again. And then I will choose the folder to save it in. The other thing I can do is remove the attachment. So if I was wanting to say send this email to somebody else, but I didn't want to send this one particular attachment, I could remove it. Or I can copy the selected attachment. So instead of saving it or whatever, I can copy it and do something else with it. Or, and this is kind of like the save all, I could do select all and copy all of the attachments, or well, select all of the attachments, and then I could choose copy or whatever I want to do with that group of attachments. and put them somewhere on my computer. So those are the options, and that's how the two ways of saving, either just pressing enter on your attachment. Now, the one thing about pressing enter on the attachment is occasionally if you open it and you want to make changes to it, it will actually say it opens in read-only mode. And it depends how you have your Office suite set up, if it's a Word file. And if it opens in read-only mode, you can't make changes at that point. If you save it at that point, then you could. But really, that's all. Now, there was one other note I put at the bottom here, and it says, where's my note? Okay. We've got option 2, which I just talked about, and okay, the note I say, so if your cursor's focused on an attachment in an email message, you can press Control C. And this is whether you're sending it, receiving it, or whatever. You can just be focused on it. You can press Control C and copy it. And then you can paste it into another email message. You can paste it into a folder on your computer, whatever your little heart desires. So at this point, I think I will close some of these down, and I will stop screen sharing, and I will ask for questions.
Diana?
Yes, Louise.
It's Louise. Okay, I have a question. So,
Okay.
when you're when you want to attach files in an order, okay, so you were showing how to go down a list of attachments to select them, list. But say you want to make sure the attachments go onto a document to an email on a certain way. So say you want to put the agenda, minutes, and then let's say information about, let's just say it's an email. Next one, a document might be terms of reference. Another one might be another document. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're going through that list, selecting them, but they're not in alphabetical. They're not in order of the alphabet you want.
Well,
so
you
can select agenda, minutes.
Yeah.
But the other two might be in the middle. How do you do that?
Well, you can't. They go in the order they are. So if you want them in a specific order, you have to attach them one at a time.
Okay.
Which you could do by just
okay.
pressing enter on the one that you are on. So if you want your agenda to go first, but then you want your terms of reference to go next, then you'd have to go find that and put it in, and then go back to your minutes.
Okay. But if you want agenda, minutes, and terms of reference, yes, you can do it in order. But if there's something else in between minutes and terms of reference, you have to take and select it. You can put two at once, then come back and do one, then go back and do two if you needed to.
Yeah, you can do that. But if they're in a different folder, I think, and I could be wrong with this, you have to copy all the ones from the same folder and then add those, paste those.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and then go back and go to a new folder. I don't think
unless you want to go back and forth. You can go back and forth. It doesn't.
Oh yeah, you can go back and forth, but you can't copy from this folder and then go to another folder and copy and add to what's already in there. I don't think.
You can't add it to the selection.
That's what I mean. That's
right.
what I mean.
You can't add it to the selection, but you can certainly go back and forth in folders
for sure.
and copy attachments one at a time. Insert them one at a time.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but if I'm in the same folder, so when I make a folder, which is used for the advocacy committee, I put all the document, everything in that folder for that month. I name the month, and I just on the outside, and I go into the folder, but they might not be in the order because of how they're alphabetically put.
You could number them. if you really wanted to, you can always number them when you're creating the files, and then they will be in numerical order,
Numeric
and you
order,
can
yeah.
grab them all at once.
Oh, okay. I never thought about
Yeah.
that. Okay. Thank
You'd
you.
have to rename them though, and you might change
Right,
your
but if
mind.
she's
So it's,
making
yeah,
new
yeah.
files, then
Oh,
she
yeah.
can,
Yep.
Yeah.
She could
she can
number them however
them
she wants.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you've given me the answer. I was struggling with this the last time I was doing this. So thank you for the answer.
And
Okay.
really, it doesn't matter so much what order. I mean, they're all there. So all you have to do is use your arrow keys in the attachment list and then press enter or whatever on the one you want to deal with at the time. So
Yeah.
it's not vital that they're in the order that you want them.
Okay. We have Mary Ellen with her hand up.
Okay, Mary Ellen, I don't know, for me or for Marcy?
Hi.
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 If you you receive an email with a whole list of attachments and you want to keep some of them, you don't care about others. So you do the alt space or alt down arrow to get into the list of attachments. Do
Mhm.
you use the shift down arrow versus the control down arrow to only select some to save, or do you have to save them each individually?
I think the shift down arrow doesn't work there in that menu. I think you
Okay.
have to save them individually. Um, but at least you get the option to find the one you want to save and then do either save as. Um, you
Right.
might
Or
also, you could remove the ones you didn't want from the email message and then save the ones you wanted.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. But the option, if you're wanting to attach emails and you're in your file explorer, if
Mhm.
you shift down arrow, you end up selecting everyone. If you use control down arrow, the ones you have selected remain selected, and when you hit one that you want to select, you just hit a space to select that, so you can select only the files you want
Yeah.
selected.
Yeah, and the shift down arrow only selects them as you're moving down. It shift down arrow won't select them all at once. You have to hold that shift. That's how I do it, and tap down arrow. And as you're
Right.
moving down, it's going to select them all.
But if you hit control down arrow, then you can decide which ones you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
select.
yeah.
That's a
Sorry, Mercy,
helpful
you were
tip.
going to say something. And that
no,
works for
no.
anything, for copy and paste. When you see it in a manual, they talk about selecting files contiguously, which means selecting them as you go, or
Right.
non-contiguously, which means selecting them you're going to get them in the order that they are, but you're going to miss the ones that you haven't pressed spacebar on.
That is very helpful because I have been selecting one at a time and copying them to the message, and it can get tedious if you want to send
Oh,
several.
yeah.
So
Yes.
that alone was worth the call. Thank you.
Good.
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing has been interesting and very helpful. My
Good.
Windows skills are very weak, so you've assisted me a lot.
Oh, good.
Okay. Anyone else? Wow. Okay.
We've either confused them utterly
Oh, wait.
or
Pat just put up her hand.
okay.
I did. If you hold the control key down
Mm-hmm.
as you're going down,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't grab that file. It just skips over it, right?
That is correct. Actually, what it's doing is it isn't highlighting them. Now you can't let up if you move your arrow keys and you've let up your control key, and this is true of the shift too. It undoes everything you've done.
Oh,
So
lovely.
basically, you want to hold that control key down with one hand, is usually what I do, and then use the other hand to use my arrow key. And then and it'll say JAWS or NVDA says not selected as you're doing it. And if you press space on that file, then it says selected.
Selected. Okay, got it. Thank you. That's great.
Any other questions?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
that's it.
Yes, that's it.
Well, thank you everyone for coming, and to those of you who are watching this, thank you for watching, and we hope that we have helped you along the way to dealing with email attachments.
Thank you for checking out our content. To learn more about the Alliance for Equality of Blind Canadians, please visit www.blindcanadians.ca. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe.